Here are my impressions on Amouage guidance. This is a funny one. I feel like it's maybe been a sleeper hit for Amouage, going off the fact that the YouTube algorithm has recommended me countless sort of lifestyle vlogger, influencer type channels reviewing and raving about this fragrance. I originally tried it just because I had tried all 4 of the new ones from this collection, and in store I found it very interesting. To me, what I got the first time I tried it was a heavy emphasis on the ambergris accord mixed with kind of a fruitiness. I found it an interesting oceanic, aquatic, sort of alternative to usual summer fresh fragrances. A little bit floral and also a little bit strange. Now I tried it twice in store, and then I decided to buy a sample to try it more, but it was in the running near the top of fragrances I had tried from Amouage that I liked. Interestingly, when I got this sample and tried it at home, I had a completely different experience. Now, I know it's my nose, it's not the fragrance, but it was so different. I double, triple checked. Was I thinking of a different fragrance? But it was definitely the pink bottle I tried. But what I failed to observe the first few times was the overwhelming and annoying presence of akigala wood, Quentin Beach's favorite, most persistent, most annoying aroma chemical in all of the fragrance industry. When I try this now, I get a pretty disgusting cacophony of woods bumping up against ambergris, bumping up against fruits. It's a little jizzy, it's a little semeny. There's something milky about it, but not comforting milky like curdled milky, rubbing up against the fruits, the sourness of the fruit, sour milkiness bolstered by an endless scratchy woody base. It's maybe one of the most disturbing fragrances I've tried. Not worse than Secretions Magnifique, but not a whole lot better either. And what's so strange, I wonder if it's because I was in the city, I was smelling other things, but I didn't get the woodiness. But I do remember noticing the strip smelling of akigala wood later, and I hadn't picked that up on my arm. So it is interesting. I would say it is interesting, this mishmash of notes. But it's borderline stomach turning, and I've never had a fragrance turn my stomach, and this doesn't. But if you're really sensitive, I could see that. I think it's just so disturbing. And I think it's the woodiness that ruins it. I think a milky, oceanic, salty, fruity kind of accord, like I have Mask Milano's White Whale, and it does that with just a touch of woodiness, with some vetiver in their rope accord. It pulls it off quite well. So I'd recommend White Whale if you like this, but can't get over the akigala wood in the base. So to me, when I wore this, the akigala wood, as one knows, went on until the next day, and by then it had far outworn its welcome. Something I've noticed more and more, not sure if it's exactly akigala wood, but this smell is more and more infiltrating public spaces, at least in New York. Maybe it's due to Ganymede, maybe it's just the popularity of that caused a lot of other fragrances, or maybe Quentin Beach is just doing a whole lot of fragrances right now. Maybe it's just its tenacity that one person wearing it can leave a smell, but several times I've been out in public and I've smelled that very distinct, scratchy, loud, dry profile of akigala wood. First time I tried it, I found it interesting because it is different. It smells very modern, smells very cutting edge, and I wouldn't fault someone who likes this smell. But it's one that's so persistent and so distinct that to me it quickly wears out its welcome because it kind of just overtakes everything else. But right now at this stage I get kind of a fuzzy, peachy, slightly milky, slightly oceanic smell. And it's reminding me more of that smell I got when I first tried it. But I know what awaits in endless woody dry down. So yeah, it's strange that it was such a hit with the influencer crowd. Is it the pretty pink bottle? Is it the longevity? Is it just the opening and then they go nose blind to that akigala dry down? But I can't imagine the people who are raving about this smelling like that. Anyway, so that's guidance. It's interesting. I'm really glad I bought a sample before I bought the bottle, because I won't be buying a bottle. But that's it. Akigala, washed up at sea. One of these scent strips is not like the others. Misguidance here has been pumping out for over 24 hours, and whenever I sit at the table next to it, I smell it as if I'm wearing it. What's interesting now is in the late dry down, the vast majority of what I'm smelling reminds me of Santal 33. I notice it does have sandalwood listed in the base, and I'm convinced they're using the same sandalwood aroma chemical or accord as Santal 33 does. I started to notice this last night, getting wafts as I walked by the sillage smelling like Santal 33, but even more so now. When I wore it on skin, I predominantly got the akigala wood, which I am familiar with, having tried Ganymede before. But on the strip right now, pure Santal 33 mixed with akigala wood is just a powerhouse of those long-lasting, cloying bases. This is more than a perfume, this is a curse.